Today I'm happy to share our biggest, most ambitious gardening project of the year with you all. This patch of bare soil might not look like much, but it's the site of something exciting. This seed mix is a combination of native plants from Minnesotan oak savannas. These are the plants that belong here. We have 7 varieties of grasses, 5 types of sedges, and 27 varieties of wildflowers that will bloom in waves from early spring all the way into the fall. Here in the middle of the city, growing alongside our little urban farming projects, we are creating a wildflower meadow. We are giving over some of our land back to nature and to the wildlife that thrived here for thousands of years before our home was built. Spreading the seeds by hand is a simple and wonderfully tactile task. Part of the glory of a natural native garden is that these plants are meant to be here. The climate and soil we already have will take care of them and do for them better than we could if we fussed over them. We don't need to be overcautious or picky. The plants know what to do here. This is their home. We deeply rake the soil over the seeds to keep them from drying out and to make sure that the birds don't eat all of them before they have a chance to germinate. We don't need to cover every seed completely, and most of them don't want to be planted too deeply, since their natural way of spreading would be seeds simply falling from their parent plant. We've had this house for nearly 7 years, but it was only this past winter that we realized we could do something so different with the front lawn. I hope that in the future, people don't respond as if this is a radical idea. Single plant lawns are terrible for wildlife. They often require watering and constant mowing. That wastes resources and time, as well as making a terrible racket. Bees and butterflies and most insects and birds get very little from grass lawns especially. There are no flowers. They get mowed before they can even put seeds down. And they only offer one sort of food, which is a problem for the same reason that I can't live off nothing but spaghetti. Creatures need balanced diets of foods they've evolved to eat. I can't wait to see what creatures come to join us once the garden is established and flowering. I won't be watering this very much. We have a few days worth of rain in the forecast, and these plants evolved for the precise weather that we have, besides which I want to make sure not to wash them away. And one of the benefits of a garden of this type is that you don't need to waste water. These seeds are off to a good start in life with very little interference from me. Well, the rain came just as it should, and just as my cherry blossoms are blooming, we have germination. Our grasses, sedges, and wildflowers are settling into their new home. The seeds have survived. And only a few weeks later, when the strawberries, honeyberries, cherries, raspberries, blueberries, currants, roses, and lilacs are all fruiting and flowering, the lawn is bushy with growth. For the next 3 years, we'll weed aggressively and mow just a bit now and then to help the plants establish their roots. We might not get any flowers this year, and it's going to take all 3 years for our savanna meadow to really establish itself. Gardening is always an exercise in patience and hope. But it feels good to me, an act of faith, to sow seeds now for 3 years from now. It feels good to dream about the future and act on those dreams. So much is changing and there's so much turmoil, but with just a little bit of help, this meadow will thrive. And in a few years, this patch of natural wonder will be a haven for wildlife, a slice of the great blooming prairies I've grown up admiring my whole life. This is one small thing I can do. One little contribution to the world, to nature, and to my community. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's inspired you to find some way of your own to contribute. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful